Hey everyone, New Third 12 here, and welcome to my review of Love Live Sunshine. I want to start off this review by saying I really enjoyed Sunshine for everything but the story. I felt the characters were super strong. I felt the music vastly improved on the first series. That being said, I feel like parts of the story were a lot more lackluster than in the first one. In the first anime, we really got some raw emotions, some real solid, rock solid connections. When it comes to Sunshine, some characters have really great connections to other characters, but it's very segmented feeling. Like there's not a lot of crossover between who's meant to interact with each other and who interacts with each other. And I feel like that's a really big problem. So I want to first go over all the characters that I liked, and then talk about various things, whether I like about him, what I didn't like about him. I want to start with Mari, the sunshine of this Aqours group. Everything about Mari I adored. She was fantastic at what she did. The way she was almost like this benevolent mother-like figure, pushing them to go further and further. Knowing how the last group with the other third years fell apart, trying to see what their resolve is, seeing how they handle failure, seeing how they grow. The way Mari interacted with the other third years was divine. I think it was some of the best character interactions of the entire series. The problem is we don't really get to see Mari interact much with the other years, other than the one episode with Yo. That was a really good scene, because it helped establish and help grow the different parallels between the old group and the new group. The old friend group, the third years, and then the second years. In a slightly different way, but a very similar way. The next girl I want to talk about is Yo Watanabe. Ooh, I love and adore her. She is such a pure angel of love and ball of energy. She's amazing. That being said, I really hate how she was tossed aside after the first season. Good lord. She had one episode, and that was it. She had one really big part of the story, and then everything else is like, oh hey, I'm a side character. It's really ridiculous how important of a character she is. She, helps Chika drive forward. She helps Chika find emotion and caring about stuff. And yet it's like, you wanted story time? Yeah, get out of here. It's ridiculous. I really dislike that about Sunshine, more than probably anything else, to be honest. Kanan, like Mari, was really well done. Both of Kanan and Mari's interactions were sublime. I love seeing the shift of how Kanan went from a kind of bitchy, distant girl to, like Mari, a very motherly, attentive figure in the group. Being able to really help with some of the emotions some of the girls were facing, some of the problems Mari and others were facing. I think that was really well done. I wouldn't have minded a little bit of her more in Season 2, but she had a fairly big role in Season 1, so I can't ask for too much. Dai is next on my list, who, for all intents and purposes, I'm actually surprised she made it as high up as she did, personally. She was billed as this traditional Japanese beauty in the very first couple episodes, but when it comes out later that she's a much more loud, vibrant personality type, it really drew me in. It was it was a breath of fresh air. Her interactions with Ruby as well, and the way they kind of mirrored off of each other in a foil type way of Saint Snow's sisterly bond, that was really great too. Loved all of that in Season 2. Chika is next on my list. I thought she was just going to be a Honoka clone, but she did a really good job of separating herself out from being just another Honoka type. The way she had that kind of attitude of not caring a lot, not letting everything roll off her shoulders as if nothing bothered her, was super toxic. And the way that it was addressed and brought to the forefront was really well done. I really, really like that. That being said, some of the stuff I didn't like about Chika, I did still feel like there are parts that she kind of just got annoying with how much she cared about Riko compared to like any other girl in the friend group. This was addressed in episode 11, but like nothing really meaningfully changed. She's still mainly focused on talking to Riko, and that's basically it. That was her whole fucking personality when it revolved around other characters. Hanamaru, the library nerd, should have gotten way more attention in the second season. I feel like she really got the shaft when it comes to screen time, more so than Yo. Yo is a second on least screen time, with Hanamaru at number 1. She got jack shit. She got her introduction with Ruby, and that's basically it. She really, really, really needed more time in Season 2 and Season 1, to be frank. Just to really develop more of a personality rather than like, haha, dumb girl, eat food, Zura. Like, that's kind of all she does. They really reduced her down to a meme level, which I felt like was a really big misstep. Because she wasn't like necessarily the meme character. That was more kind of like Ruby. But, yeah, bad decisions are bad. Speaking of Ruby, the next one on the list would be that. Usually I don't like the mascot child type characters that just ooh woo cute. Ooh goo, I'm like 8. Please don't bully. Usually I don't like them, but what they did with her in Season 2 really did wonders for her. They made her more than just, I exist to, like, you know, squeal. With her conversations with Saint Snow, with going outside of Aqours, it shows a growth, it shows determination that I wasn't expecting to see out of her, which was really, really nice. She's still lower on the list just because she is kind of that mascot meme character. But I will say, they used her for a lot more than just being a mascot or a meme. Yoshiko / Johanna is next. Once again, kind of a memey character. Her whole Shuni bit, it got really stale really fucking quickly. Especially once we get into Season 2, when we're still focusing on her. I'm sorry, I just don't care that much about her. There's no reason that we had so much time devoted to her. Her and Riko got a disordinate amount of screen time. It was insane seeing just more and more and more of those characters, while more and more other characters could have really beautiful moments given screen time that were just not given to them. Like, once they started showing Ruby around, I was like, hey, look what we can do. But at that point, it was like, we're like 2 episodes away from the end. Why did we wait until now to stop focusing on Riko and Yoshiko? I feel like that was a really, really big misstep, and really just a shame, honestly. I would have really loved to see other characters other than them. If they're your favorite characters, congratulations, you got what you wanted, but everything else about it was kind of shitty. But I guess she was alright. Last on the list, obviously, Riko. I've mentioned it quite a bit. She got a ton of screen time. I really don't think she deserved it. She's in that cross-section of horrible to listen to, painfully boring, but yet dominates screen time. For me, that was just a recipe for me just to completely dislike her. That gets compounded in Season 2 when we go over the fucking dog arc. Jesus Christ. Who cares? Who cares about her and the dog? If we wanted Yoshiko to have her other scene like that, so we can like have some development for her, which we didn't need, by the way. But if we really wanted that, we could have had Yo do it. We could have had Hanamaru do it. We could have had fucking Chika do it. Anyone else other than Riko, because she had had so much time to herself already. Even in the Yo episode, when it was about her, Riko played the point of it. She was the quote-unquote antagonist of that section. Like, come on. We can do better, guys. Let's just not focus on her. Please. Sadly, I don't get my way. And you know what? That's just how it goes. I just didn't really like anything about her, honestly. Her piano playing was probably the best part of her character than the entire anime. The story for me was kind of a mess because a lot of it was more symbolic rather than a physical thing. With the original Love Live and the original Muse, a lot of their issues were in the forefront. They were very personal things that were real. They had a weight to them. But with Sunshine, a lot of the other issues with like finding yourself, finding personality, finding how to get along with friends, stuff like that, it's more like of an ethereal feeling. There's some stuff that are like concrete that I could like really sympathize with, the power going off in the school, stuff like that really works. But then we have like the magic school bus flying through the air type stuff, and I was like, it kind of just pulls me out of it, honestly. The getting 98 signatures but missing the 2 to get 100, and we still close down. That bothers me because it's so contrived feeling. Like, we're at 98. How are we failing here? Which again, it's more symbolic in nature of coming out short of perfection. And I just get kind of caught up with some of the literal sometimes. So I don't really fully appreciate necessarily a more symbolic thing. I've been pretty negative so far, so let's talk about all the positives. Everything else. The music, for one, I just want to open with that. Phenomenal. The sophistication that's used with composing this music, with mixing it, with mastering it. So much better than any Muse song. You can link me any Muse song. The worst Aqours music will be better than that Muse song. All of them. Just the level of detail that's put into it, the level of work that's put into like the instrumentation, the mixing, the blending, the depth, and it's just across the board. When you listen to Muse songs, they're really, really flat. They're super thin and flat. They might have a couple instruments at most. Nothing too bassy. It's all in the treble high ranges. They really need to back the high down, put a fucking low pass filter on, and start going from there. They really needed more bass music. I personally attribute that mainly due to personnel and their singers, because they couldn't master it too much because it would make the singers stand out more. So they wanted to compress it and thin it out so that it's harder to hear the errors of the singers when it's all on the same level. When you hear the drums on the exact same level as the vocals. So you can't hear maybe some of the issues that the vocals have. Because when we look at the vocals, the vocal talent of these two groups, one clearly outranks the other. And Muse, sorry, you have 2 or 3 girls dragging the top up. Everything else is just sagging. It is dead weight. That's not really the same case with the Aqours. I mean, your worst singers are like maybe 2, maybe? But I'd argue they're probably average compared to Muse. The vocal talent is just sublime. It's amazing. Hearing the depth of range, the solo capacities, the bombastic voices, the singing through their chest that a lot of them do. They're amazing. And I feel like a lot are even underrated in their own groups. I'll talk about that in a different video. That'll be coming later on. But like, I just can't get enough of their vocals. I think it is amazing. I used to think this was a hot take, that any Muse music can't beat like an equal Aqours music. I honest to God think there's not a bad one that could be beaten. just because the amount of effort and talent level is just, the ceiling is so much higher and the floor is so much higher. Like, there might be an edge case, but a lot of that time it's the feelings and nostalgia behind the song that helps boost up Muse music. If you walked into them both, nothing attached to them, I don't see a single person saying Muse is better. But that's just my personal opinion and what I know with music theory and how music works. The art and CG for some of the songs, amazing. Good lord, it is so much better. You can tell just the amount of money they were able to invest in this versus the original series and how technology has moved across. Fantastic level of work that was done into it. If I were to rank Sunshine, I would say the band's better, but I don't think the anime is better. But at the same time, I really feel like I want to give it a 9.46. I really feel the 9.46 is that really good range for it. Because I think a lot of the pieces that I care about were so vastly improved that I'd argue a pretty big hit to the story doesn't weigh it down too much, just because of the amount of higher elevation that the rest of the work experienced. I feel very confident with the 9.46 out of 10. I think it's a fair and honest review for that. Next video that I'm going to be doing is going to be ranking all the singers. I expect salt on that one because I've seen too many videos of rankings that I hate, I disagree with, I fundamentally disagree with. I read the comments, I get more upset because a lot of people don't know what they're talking about when they talk about a singer, when they talk about a vocal track. They're like, oh, too heavy reliance on like a vibrato or whatever. And it's like, what are you talking about? Do you know what that is? Ridiculous. So I'll tear into that one. Expect some spice on that one because it's not going to be like any other list. It's going to be broken down into 3 groups and all the members sorted within those 3 groups. See you guys then. In the meantime, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment down below anything you agree, disagree with, or whatever, and subscribe to the channel. Join the Discord if you want to have more in-depth conversations rather than just a YouTube comment. I love having people to argue with on Discord, or people to agree with. If you want to watch me go through Sunshine itself, you can head down to the Patreon down below as well. $1 a month. I'd argue, very reasonable price. You can expect about 8 episodes a month, I think. Yeah, like 8 episodes or more a month. Jeez, I go crazy over there. I put out too much content. I need to stop. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Check out when I did the first Love Live video, if you haven't already. And go ahead and check out all the games I do. Thank you all so much for watching, and have a great day.